Zero Hanger under 25 bracket. So this has been going on our socials
for about a week. Yeah. So we went up, put a bracket up. March Madness at the moment, bit of fun. So we looked at we looked at 32 of the best players born this century, so 25 and under, to create our under 25 bracket. So all voting done on our Instagram stories, and voting again will be live from Tuesday night this week. So we had our first round of the 32, and now we're into the Sweet 16, most call it. So you can go onto Zero Hanger's Instagram to look at the full bracket, and Facebook as well, to see how the first round panned out. So maybe we'll just look at the matchups for the Sweet 16, and then I'll see if you guys have a tip on who you think what is going to win. So this week's matchups, we have Nick Dacos against Connor Rozee, Nick Blakey against Nazai Wanganeen-Millera, Tom Green against Errol Goulden, nice little Sydney bash there, Will Day against Chad Warner, and then on the other side of the bracket we have Caleb Sarong against John Newcomb, Harry Sheasel against Isaac Rankin, Bailey Smith against Sam Darcy, and Finn Callahan against Zach Butters. So obviously a lot of midfielders made it through to the next group. And, it's going to be quite interesting to see if the love for Nick Dacos outweighs the hate for Nick Dacos / Collingwood fans. So Connor Rozee managed to knock off Sam Walsh in the first round. So it's going to be quite an interesting matchup as well. So who are we thinking is going to make it through to the end? Because obviously, a player like Nick Dacos is probably the number one seed, if it's not maybe Sam Darcy. Yeah. But then obviously the strong Collingwood faithful might pull through and get into the end. Whereas, there's the counter to that people just don't want him to take out the top spot, and they might just go for whoever he's up against. So who are we seeing as the favourite for this one, or who do we think we would like to see is the championship matchup?
Yeah, I think Darcy goes a fair way on those stocks. Some of them are going to be really interesting, that the players that play effectively the same role, like you mentioned Blakey versus Wanganeen-Millera, the rebounding defender, creator player, and then even the age of some of them. So was it Isaac Rankin?
Rankin up against Sheasel this week.
Yeah, so different players there. You've got one who's the sort of creative defender versus the dynamic, more offensively minded player. So I'm really keen to see how those contrast one goes. If you ended up with Dacos versus Darcy, that settles our argument from last week a little bit as well. So
Yeah, I think Dacos is definitely going to be up there. I think because he's got the left side of the bracket, and I think he's got the easier route. Like if we're talking, some people have, in March Madness, some people get the really difficult routes through to success.
Yeah.
And
it's easy because he's Nick Dacos.
It is easy because he's Nick Dacos, but I would have been interested to see if he came up against Harry Sheasel or Sam Darcy before he got to the final.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to breeze through to that top two, and that's what I'm on the right hand side. That's what I'm curious about. Making the top two would be Darcy or Sheasel for me. But then again, the Rankin versus Sheasel, they're different players, so some people might value Rankin more. So, the recency bias at the moment is going to go towards Sam Darcy, just because he's, blown up and broken out and everyone's talking about him. So I can expect him to, push through. But yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, that's why I was fascinated over the weekend. We had Finn Callahan against Matt Rao. I think that post was still live as Rao put together a pretty big performance, but it's still swayed to Callahan 52% to 48%. So it was a close one. And it's going to be, looking at some of the roads. So on one side, one of Sarong, Newcomb, Sheasel or Rankin will make a semi-final. Not the biggest market players, whereas, the other pocket, you might have a Butters and a Sam Darcy or Bailey Smith.
Yeah.
Another one, you've got Chad Warner or Errol Goulden with a Will Day or Tom Green. And then in Dacos's corner, Rozee, he'll be coming up against Rozee this week, and then either Blakey or Wanganeen-Millera. So that's going to be quite an interesting one. But he might have a pretty comfy road to the semi-final. So voting again will be live for the Sweet 16 this week, and that'll go through the next couple of weeks before we figure out who's number one.
I think I commented this on the Instagram post, but this is how I found out that Nick Blakey is under 25.
He's
even Bailey Smith. I've raised my eyebrows and I'm like,
yeah,
still pretty young.
Yeah. No, but I just mean on looks. Like if you told me that Nick Blakey was under 25,
he's 12 in lizard years, so that's why he's able to be in this.
So genuinely, I thought he was over 40.
He's been. It feels like because he's just been day one. He was in the side, and then all Australian and whatnot. He does seem like the oldest of this group. But I think obviously the 2018 draft is the oldest draft in this crop. So that's your Walshes, your Rosees, your Butters, Blakey was 18 or 19. I can't remember which one. But yeah, there's a few that there's none from last year's draft, which is probably fair enough. And then Harley Reid, I think. Who did he get knocked out by? Sheasel in the first round. So he was, I think, one of the youngest. if not the youngest in the group. So yeah,
Yep. Cool.
cool.
All right. We'll see who wins.